All right, so as you heard when I was talking about the syllabus, that we will be doing a lot of analytical reviews, and don't panic when you hear that. It sounds like, ugh, it's not. Once you get the information on how you should be reading, whether it's poems or films, like it gets really exciting. Like it's really cool if you're in a literature class. You're probably got the same mindset that I do. I'm like, let's talk about this. This is fun. But with that, we do have to do work. We're going to start it out with kind of giving you what you've already learned in your English 2, learning how to brainstorm, how to do outlines, where are you finding your research, that sort of thing. I have everything on week 1 module, or I'm sorry, week 1 module 1. I have all that stuff there already for you, brainstorming, outlines, that sort of thing. Take a look at those. A lot of you might be review. If you just had my English 2 class, you're like, I've already done this like 8 times. I'm like, I know. So for some of you, this might be an easy peasy week. For some of you, you're like, I've never done this before. What are we talking about? First and foremost, when we talk about brainstorming, the biggest thing I want you to do is get used to being able to, you have the lecture, you have the reading that I gave you, and then you kind of put them together and to make something, okay? For brainstorming for this class, I pretty much give you the outline and what I look for. Like I hand feed it to you. It's like, here, this is what I'm looking for. This is what the first paragraph looks like. This is the second, include all the following things. I make it really easy. But just so you can remember, your composition skills, go take a look at the brainstorming where we talk about free writing. For some of you, maybe you have to free write a little bit to get the juices flowing before you can put everything in a structure. Totally understand. Or you might want to break things down into different levels of topics. I give you a template to an outline. You can throw your ideas into that outline, and that's going to help you flow your ideas. That's also, again, a part of listing and bulleting if you want to do that. You can describe it, trace it, map it, take a look at the reading that's going to give you more. Cubing is another way where, again, it's very similar to when you do the 3 perspectives. You could do with cubing, you describe it, you compare it, you associate, you analyze, you apply, and you argue against or for it. So when you're thinking of cubing, what you could do is, all right, what is the book? We're talking about the book. We're going to compare what we learned in lecture to the book. And then you analyze it based on research, like this is what research is saying about the historical and cultural context, and then you apply it. We do enough of these that your first one might not be like your analytical review. It's like in week 3 or 4. We do enough to where you'll get really good practice at it, to where by the end it's easy peasy. But the first couple times of getting your juices flowing on this, just know you might be a little rusty, and that's understandable. So again, work with me on this one. Trust the process. I'll say that all the time. Again, with brainstorming, you can do similes. This is or was like that sort of thing. Clustering, all those things. So anyway, go ahead into the reading. It's going to give you more. I don't need to babble on about it. Majority of you have already done this. Take a look at that outline template. I would really like you to look at how we are doing the different outlines. This will just help you kind of know how you want to put your ideas in order, because once they're in an order, then you can talk about them. There was a time where I was one of those where I would just write what I was thinking. The problem is, and that's free writing, which is fine, but if I turned in my paper that was like that, it was a mess. It was a mess. So outline is definitely what I want to push for you. So that way you can get into that habit of putting things in order. And plus it makes the paper so much easier than just writing and going, I don't know where my next point is. Okay. I have videos on how you can outline. I have the template. Also, I do want to make sure that you know that we are going to use Butte College's database. Okay. Butte College's database is what I'm going to keep telling you. I literally have the link to the JSTOR. That's all you got to go. It's straight to JSTOR. Look up on our reading. It'll say, how do I find a scholarly journal through Butte's library? Don't Google if don't, how do I say this? Too often I get students who are just Googling answers, and it doesn't really back up their main point. So you're going to need at least one JSTOR in your analytical review. So get in there and play around, get used to it. We won't be actually doing research until a little bit later, probably about week 3 or 4, but get into the habit of getting into JSTOR and just trying to figure out how that works for you. Okay, again, we will also have works cited pages. If you've been with me, you already know exactly what that looks like. If you don't, excuse me, hiccups. If you don't, take a look at the link where it says in the readings, okay? If you take a look at our lecture, it gives you all the little details. Take a look at that, watch the videos. I'll throw them into this Play Pause It as well, just to make it a little easier on you. And then, yeah, take a look at MLA formatting. It is what I use for this class. It is what I use for all of my classes. So anytime you're with me, you're going to get consistency. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I totally rhymed. So anyway, that's it just for this week. I just want to get your juices flowing, and that is pretty much it. All right, I'll see you on the other side.